This is Herbert A. Brown Jr., Focus Winner. Today's message is, don't be afraid to ask God for strength. Isaiah 41:10, don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I'll hold you up with my victorious right hand. Psalm 46:1, God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. Psalm 34:17, the Lord hears his people when they call to him for help. He rescues them from all their troubles. Again, today's message is, don't be afraid to ask God for strength. Now, it's unfortunate that many pastors sometimes lay a guilt trip on their congregation. They'll say, you should do this, and you should do that, and you should do this, and you should do that. You shouldn't even ask God for anything. This is what you should do. And I'm here to tell you, it's not mutually exclusive to ask God for direction on how to serve him, but to also be vulnerable and ask God for help. Ask God for strength, particularly in these trying and challenging times where we may not feel the best health-wise. We may not feel the best financially. Do not be afraid to ask God for strength. Way back in 2004, I was flying into Lansing, Michigan, and I was feeling nauseous, and I was starting to develop a pain in my stomach. By the time I got to the hotel, the young lady at the front desk said, Mr. Brown, you look awful. I'm like, well, gee, thanks. Can I have some aspirin? So I bought some aspirin, took it, and went right to bed. Usually I like to go see the new town, but I was in pain. I was in so much pain, I crawled out of bed that night and I went into the fetal position. I couldn't sleep. The pain was unbearable. In that moment, I wasn't afraid to ask God for strength. I asked God for strength to help me sleep. At that moment, God relieved that pain, and I was able to sleep through the night. The following day, I had an emergency appendectomy to remove my appendix. More recently, I visited the cemetery plot of my parents at a cemetery. I haven't been able to get to the cemetery for a couple of months or so. We've had some rain. And at the cemetery plot, there's a little pot where you put the flowers in. They turn it upside down where you're not using it, and then you pull it up and you put the flowers in it. But because of the recent rains and everything else in the weather, this little pot was cemented in there, and I'm a very strong person. I was pulling it and pulling it. It was not budging. Was I afraid that it was too little to ask God for strength in that moment? No! I asked God, give me strength, and whoop, it came right up. So I'm telling you right now, no matter what your situation is, do not be afraid to ask for strength from God. For God is loving, he's caring, full of grace. And if you ask God for strength, he'll give it to you.